All right, very quickly. Verbal branding is also a redefined foundation for the development of brand itself. You must add a spoken criteria to your branding effort, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Geico. Everybody knows the Geico commercials, right? 15 minutes can save you 15%. Now, if somebody said to somebody at Geico, hey, why should I care about you? And that's the question. When you're asked, what do you do at an event like this or anywhere you go? Hey, what do you do? You know what people are actually asking you? They want to know if they should care about you. That's the question. Hey, who cares about Geico? Well, you should care about us for that reason, because 15 minutes will save you 15%. That's the reason. That's an idea that has spoken criteria. Fidelity, are you familiar with the turn, kind of brought out their new marketing campaign? Turn here. Hey, who cares about Fidelity? Turn here. That doesn't make sense. See, there's no logic there. There's no conversational logic, right? So Geico can advertise that way, and they can say it. Spoken criteria to their branding effort. Fidelity, I guarantee you, I know that their field people do not answer the question, why should we work with you? They do not say, turn here. Anybody disagree? Hey, who cares about Fidelity? Turn here. Doesn't work. So they are losing capability in the productivity of their brand. Believe it or not, as famous as they are, they probably spent $1 zillion on that. All right, very quick, I'll show you this. Traditional branding or traditional marketing campaigns, there's a vision that the company will have, or the organization. Let's pretend that that circle there is the campaign, and it's it's meant to go out into the marketplace, right? Sounds fair enough. And there's a vision that it hits the market in a very dense, complete, uniform way. Well, strangely, there's these really odd things that happen every single day. Direct spoken interactions. So this campaign hits these bumps in the road. Presentations, selling, networking, partner conversation, all these things are spoken interactions, right? Well, the bad news is that they have not been accounted for, and there is total chaos in organizations having to do with the spoken interactions part of their business or their nonprofit. Total chaos. And this blows huge, massive holes in the productivity of their brand. And by the time the brand hits the marketplace, there's all these holes in it. It's like Swiss cheese. And guess what? All that effort, blown right out of the water. That's not good. That's not a good result. Add a spoken criteria, and this is how to do it. So the positioning can be said naturally. If you ask me what I do, I say I teach verbal branding. If you look on my business card, it says I teach verbal branding. If you look on my website, it says I teach verbal branding. That's all I ever talk about. Even if you ask me details for 2 hours, it doesn't matter. I'm still talking about verbal branding. It's all a spoken logic. So, instead of this, you create density internally. I wanted to make sure I mentioned this. I don't care if there's 1 person or 2 or 10 or 10,000. Create a natural spoken criteria for the understanding of the brand internally first. Non-negotiable. And then push it out into the marketplace, and all of a sudden these get filled in, and next thing you know, you do in fact have a dense brand out in the market. What do you think of when you think of Volvo? Safety. That's it. You can say it, it's logical, right? Walmart's cheap. That's how they operate, that's how they advertise, that's what people can say. It all makes sense, it's all the same. That's what your brand should look like. I call it density branding literally. It unifies sales and marketing and culture internally because everybody understands why you're different and better than the competition. Imagine that. They can say it, they can write it, by the way. The interaction between a person outside with you, whether it's spoken or if they read your website or a marketing slick, for instance, the dynamics are essentially the same. They have to become curious right away. There ought to be the branding context that I talk about. Mostly the same.